No one sat you down and asked what kind of life you wanted. There was no meeting, no choice, no consent. You simply woke up one day inside a structure that was already built, already running, already hungry, and it's been feeding on you ever since. From the outside, your life looks normal. A job, responsibilities, expectations, deadlines. You wake up tired, push through the day, collapse at night, repeat. But deep down, there's a quiet pressure you can't name, a sense that something is wrong, not dramatically wrong, just off. Like wearing someone else's clothes for years and forgetting what your own body feels like. This isn't depression, it isn't laziness, and it isn't failure. It's design. You were placed into a system that needs your energy, but not your fulfillment, your compliance, but not your freedom, your time, but not your growth. And the most effective systems don't use chains, they use normalization. From the moment you were young, you were taught what a good life looks like. Study, work, consume, obey, stay reasonable, stay agreeable, stay busy. Never ask what all this effort is for. You were trained to chase stability instead of meaning, approval instead of truth, comfort instead of power. Not because anyone hated you, but because systems don't hate, they optimize. And a man who questions his life is inefficient. So the system keeps you distracted. Endless content, endless noise, endless outrage cycles that burn your attention but never change your position. You're allowed to complain, just not to exit. Allowed to vent, just not to break pattern. That's why everything feels urgent, but nothing feels important. Even your exhaustion is monetized. Your stress becomes entertainment. Your loneliness becomes a market. And slowly, subtly, your ambition is reshaped, not toward greatness, but toward manageability. You stop asking, "What do I want?" and start asking, "What's acceptable?" You choose paths that won't cause friction, dreams that won't upset anyone, goals that keep you functional but never dangerous. And one day you realize something terrifying. You're tired, but not from effort. You're tired from suppression, from holding back instincts that don't fit the template, from swallowing impulses that don't align with schedules and systems and social expectations. You feel trapped, not because the walls are high, but because they're invisible. There's no villain to fight, no enemy to confront. Just a quiet realization that your days are being spent maintaining a life that gives you very little in return. And the worst part? You were trained to feel guilty for noticing. If you question this life, you're called ungrateful. If you want more, you're called selfish. If you detach, you're called irresponsible. So you stay, you keep going, you keep performing, you keep playing the role. Until one day, something inside you hardens, not into rage, but into distance. You stop believing in the promises. You stop trusting the path. You stop romanticizing the grind. You begin to sense the truth that no one says out loud. This life was not built to fulfill you. It was built to extract from you. And once you see that, you can't unsee it. You start noticing how everything pushes you toward dependency. On income, on validation, on external approval. A dependent man is predictable. A predictable man is controllable. Freedom doesn't require chains, it just requires habits you never chose. That's why real independence feels dangerous, why stepping back feels wrong, why slowing down feels like failure. You were conditioned to associate worth with output, so when you rest, you feel anxious. When you disconnect, you feel lost. When you stop chasing, you feel invisible, because the system never taught you how to exist without being useful to it. But here's the part that changes everything. The trap only works if you keep moving inside it. The moment you pause, truly pause, something strange happens. You feel discomfort, silence, emptiness, and beneath that emptiness, something older wakes up. Clarity. You begin to separate what you were told to want from what you actually want, what drains you from what feeds you, what keeps you compliant from what makes you sovereign. This isn't about quitting society or rejecting responsibility. It's about reclaiming authorship, choosing deliberately instead of drifting obediently. Most men never reach this point. They stay tired, distracted, and quietly resentful until the years blur together. But some men feel the fracture. They realize the exhaustion isn't from doing too much, it's from doing what doesn't matter to them. And once that realization settles in, the system loses its grip. Not overnight, not dramatically, but permanently. Because a man who sees the design can no longer be fully drained by it. And if this feels familiar, if something in you